Let's talk about a little bit more aggressive yelping, some cutting, maybe a fly down cackle, some purring, some different things. So we'll start with the clucks, the cuts, and some fly down cackles. Those particular calls are all based off the same thing, the word puck, like a cluck. So cutting. You note that it's kind of all over the place. She gets fast, she gets slower. It's a very excited call, it's a very emotional call, and you want to learn to put that emotion into your calling as well, because it's very important. You're going to get more strikes off of it, you're going to be more realistic, and you're going to get more answers, you're going to be more successful calling in turkeys that way. Cackle. This is something that's done when a hen flies out of a tree. Gobblers do it as well. All turkeys do it. It's not consistent. Some days you'll hear hens cackle, and sometimes you'll hear hens do nothing whatsoever at all. So you just want to learn to have this in your arsenal. But a cackle is nothing but a cut with a little bit different rhythm pattern. So I kind of like to think about it, if I'm using just my mouth and air and no call to get the proper rhythm, I'm going to be going puck, 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 puck. And always keep it short. I mean, all turkeys don't fly out of redwood trees 300 feet high. So always want to keep it short, keep it simple, and it keeps it more realistic, because most of the time a fly down cackle is done when they're flying out. They'll fly up as well. It's exactly the same rhythm patterns and the same way it's put together, but keeping it short and simple is the most realistic. And you'll listen to her in the morning. She'll be soft calling, tree calling. She's just flying down. I call it a controlled crash, because they're nervous, they're getting ready to fly down for the morning, and then all of a sudden they just burst out of the tree, and it's kind of like an announcement, I'm going to the ground. All the other turkeys are going to fly down, and everybody's going to get together. Purring. Purring is a call that you're going to want to learn, simply because it's kind of that bread and butter call, that little soft stuff when the turkey gets in close, but he's not close enough to harvest, or you're trying to call a turkey that has hens. Oftentimes, they don't want to hear aggressive calling. The more aggressive calls that you do, they'll take the gobbler off. So you want to learn to purr and do soft stuff. And when you learn that, then you can communicate in those what I call coy type situations, and maybe sweet talk those hens to come in and check you out and drag the gobbler along. Or just whisper sweet nothings in his ear. So when I'm purring, I'm using that uvula in the back of my throat. There's multiple ways to purr, but that's the way I learned to do it. And it's kind of like gargling. So if you were to gargle mouthwash or water, you'd go. So if you take the air away from that, or the sound away from that, and use strictly air, it's when you can hear that uvula vibrating. Well, that vibration is vibrating the reed as my tongue pressure is going on it. The louder I get with it is because the more tongue pressure I put, the softer I get is the less tongue pressure. If I want to get more aggressive with my purrs, say for example, almost into a fighting purr, I'm just going to put more tongue pressure. That would be like a gobbler fight, or even hens, they fight and they go to purring, but you want to keep all that stuff in your arsenal. This stuff takes a lot of practice, and you don't have to be a world champion caller to kill turkeys, by no means. Just practice it, get comfortable with it, find you a call that works for you, whether it's a raspy call that has a little more advanced cuts in the reeds, or it's a call that doesn't have advanced cuts in the reeds. Just get a call that is comfortable, that you feel confident with, that you've got good sounds into live hens. Figure out your calling, figure out those rhythms, and practice it. And remember, when you practice, don't just practice 2 weeks before the season. Practice throughout the year and be very comfortable with your calls, and you'll be more successful when you get to the woods.